Uh, Welcome to another edition of New Sports Outlaws podcast. As always, I'm Neil, and this is Dan. Dan, we have baseball to talk about again because last time we met, we were on the All Star break, and we have a little bit of NFL news as far as holdouts to talk about today. And I know we said no basketball, but I might have a basketball question for you today. So, how are you this week?
Good. I'm kind of thinking now what that basketball could be. It's really the dead, but I'm sure you'll find some way to go against the Nets. Probably a Nets question that you're probably trying to make fun of me about, but I'm sure you'll get to that. Yeah, we got a lot of Yankees, Mets to talk about. Close division races. NFL training camps are good to go, and I think the preseason starts next week. I want to say the Hall of Fame game is August 1st. I want to say next week, so that's exciting. Fantasy football. Let's get started.
All right, let's get started. So we're getting started. We're a little later start on our recording time this week, but the Yankees are tied at the moment, 4-4 against the Toronto Blue Jays. In the bottom of the sixth, Max Fried is still in there, but already at 90 pitches, approaching 90 pitches. So he might not be long for this inning. I think they probably want to see if he can have a short, quick inning, get in and out of there. Because the last thing I want to see is the bum that they have
Warming up.
warming up. And that was one of my notes that I wanted to talk to you today about the Yankees. Is that I'm absolutely sick and tired. And I'll start with this since I see him warming up in a tie 4-4 game. Johnny Loizaga cannot be coming in unless we are up by 2 or 3 or down by 2 or 3. This one-run tie game garbage where they keep going to Johnny Loizaga. Listen, I understand that he may eventually find it. But until he finds it, I cannot allow him to keep coming into games and lighting them on fire with gasoline. He almost blew the game the other day for us. He has I didn't check this. I usually check my stats for you, but I know his ERA since he's come back has been astronomical. I don't understand. I get the familiarity with him, but you can't keep going to the well. And he's got to come in and mop up duty. We can't keep bringing him in to ruin games like this.
I mean, this is kind of what goes back to what we were talking about last week with, at least what I think. I forgot what you said, but what the Yankees' needs are during the trade deadline. And I know with me, it's not even. I know third base is a need, but I mean, third base I think takes a back seat to relief pitching. We don't have anybody else to go to besides Jonathan Loizaga. We have Luke Weaver, who looks like he's found it, which is a huge thing, and nobody else. Devin Williams, I think he's going to be out for today because, the whole Yankee rule, with it's been 3 out of 4 days that he's not going to pitch, so he's probably not going to pitch today with the 4th out of 5th game. Even though it is kind of a big win, at least for the Yankee fan psyche, and I guess for the Yankee players, even though it's only July 23rd or 22nd, whatever today is. But we don't have anybody else. I don't want to see Ian Hamilton out there. I don't want to see. I mean, I guess Tim Hill is better, but then I don't want to see Tim Hill against George Springer and Vladimir Guerrero. Those righties would absolutely and oh my God. Are you serious? Oh, well, we thought was our best hitter, our best fielder. Just lost one in some kind of lights. Great. Anyway, man on third for the Blue Jays, less than 2 outs. That was great to see. We don't have anybody else. So I think Boone is just trying to figure out something that maybe he finds it. Because, I mean, I know they say the velocity is still there, but they're talking about his movement, and his movement is a lot more horizontal than it is vertical when hit with his two-seam fastball. So that's kind of, I think we're just trying to look forward at that point. There's nobody else to go to. That's why I think at the trade deadline, relief pitching has to be a number one priority for them.
Yeah, I don't think they need a stud like I even heard rumors of maybe one of these fringe teams possibly selling their closer. I don't know if they need somebody like that, but they need a reliable, solid arm, especially with some of the injuries they've had with like Cruz not being here, who became pretty reliable for us, and some of the other guys that are missing. I tell you what hurts is Kirk Cousins' cousin missing the beginning of the season, because it seemed like they started to really rely on him to be one of those guys too, and him not being there is also an issue. Listen, as bad as the Yankees have looked, they're 3-2 since the All-Star break. Yes, 2 of those wins came in the ninth inning. They scored runs whether it was the top of the ninth, uh, um, or the bottom of the ninth. The Yankees scored runs to win 2 of those 3 games, but it hasn't looked good. But if they win tonight, they've won both series since the All-Star break. They can't be mad at that, but I can be mad at some of these decisions. I can be frustrated. As our manager was frustrated the other day with John Boy, I can't. I can't be. I got to be frustrated with some of the selection picks, the bullpen picks, the lineup picks. And I know that's not all him. And I fight the battle. I feel like I'm a Aaron Boone defender. I fight the battle with my friends, with my family, that I don't blame Aaron Boone. It's not that I'm a defender of Aaron Boone. I'm just an accuser of Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman put this roster together. I don't think Aaron Boone had less than 2 cents worth to include into any acquisitions that Brian Cashman has made. I think Brian Cashman and his analytics group tell Aaron Boone what the lineup should be. You make the lineup, Skip, but this is what it should look like. And then Aaron Boone just does it. Now, do I think Aaron Boone makes decisions in games? Sure. But I think this is made by analytics-driven stuff. Like you said, we've talked on the side. Somebody has a hot game. Let's get them going. Let's play them the next game. Nope, it's their rest day off. Analytics said they need a rest day off. No, momentum. We've talked about this on the podcast before. Go with the momentum. Manage the game with some heart.
Yeah, I would want to see. I'm sure there's a stat out there about how many different leadoff guys we've had this year. In terms of whether it was Wells. I think Wells led off the very first game of the year and then didn't do it again, which I don't, whatever happened with that. But between Wells and Goldschmidt and Grisham and Dominguez, I want to say we've had one more, but just with so much lineup uncertainty, I guess. I mean, I wonder if it really affects. Oh God. 5-4 Jays in the sixth. So I wonder if just not knowing. I wonder if they know every day. I know they say that one day with Volpe that it was a planned day off. That one day he was supposed to that Sunday he was out or whatever it was. I wonder if they told Bellinger that the first Toronto game was a rest day for him. But just in terms of someone like Dominguez or even Stanton, who I assume if we get to the playoffs is going to be an everyday player, we can't just have Stanton. I know he's been hitting really well, but Stanton, I would hope that Stanton's in there every single game if and when we get to the playoffs. It's really interesting what we're going to do with guys like Trent Grisham, or even if we entertain trading Jason Dominguez, or if like someone like Ben Rice, how he's going to be kind of folded, is he going to be a bench player? Because it seems like we have 12 guys for like 9 positions every day, and there's always one of them that's sitting out. So, I mean, I guess I don't know if many other teams have that. I guess they do, but I'm just, as a Yankee standpoint, I would think consistency would be best, but I guess we have too many guys that play the same position. Like Ben Rice, we can play first. We have 3 catchers and 3 first basemen. We have too many outfielders. Well, we have 1 shortstop. He absolutely sucks. So, I don't know.
Yep, that was my last note I had for the Yankees was, do you think the Yankees need a third baseman, a relief pitcher, and a shortstop at the deadline? That's what the afternoon show was talking about today. And Evan was convinced that the Yankees should be listening, or not listening, but should be calling in interest to some of these teams that may have a shortstop available too. listen, Volpe just hit a homer. With the good comes the bad. He's tied for homers with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. If I told you that 102 games in, you'd be like, oh, I'll take that. What you didn't expect to take was having the league leading errors, or tied for the league leading errors, for any starter. Do I think that I think I've always been a proponent when I talk to you and our friends, that I thought that his his Gold Glove year was a little fugazi. I thought it was a little inflated. I didn't think that he was an insanely good fielder. I go, okay, he's got a decent glove, better than I thought. The story was Peraza always had the better glove. But yeah, he's been atrocious in the field. And I mean, he's not batting great, but he did have a homer today to tie the game up. So I mean, listen, you're not getting a shortstop at the deadline, but you need to make this an open competition in the offseason. You got to bring somebody in, or you got to get somebody up, whether it's Lombard, whatever you're going to do. You got to do something, because you can't just give Anthony Volpe the shortstop position. He has not dictated since his rookie year that he deserves it.
Yeah, you kind of might have to make him go through it's one of those competitions where he kind of shows you that he can do it. And I know this year he really hasn't had his moments. He's been, especially since I believe May or late May, he's been pretty much terrible, like really bad. I think it's around the 120 or 130s, something like that. After he got off to a somewhat decent start. But yeah, it just seems like our whole thing in the offseason was building up the defense, and lately our defense has been not good. Whether it's Volpe, whether it's Peraza, who's made a couple errors, whether it's, I mean, I know Ben Rice isn't really a first baseman, but he's had a couple of miscues. Cody Bellinger just had a miscue in right field. It just seems like how we wanted to build the team. That's why I don't think like anyone like Suarez from the Diamondbacks. I think he would be a good regular season acquisition, and he might make some noise, but his defense is terrible too. So again, that's why I mean, Suarez would obviously be an upgrade over Peraza, obviously. But I think he'd just be another one of those home run hitters that just strikes out a ton, especially if we ever saw good pitching. So I think we have about a week or 8 days or so until the trade deadline. So I hope pitching, especially relief pitching. I mean, if we got to get a starter in there, obviously we could probably use a starter, even though Schlittler looked pretty good last night. And there's another kind of bounce off of Rice, and kind of we were just talking about errors. There's another run for the Blue Jays. So, I mean, I don't even know I guess a relief pitcher. I mean, because obviously that wasn't Loiza's fault or Free. I know they weren't great, but a lot. As you said, anything that can go wrong. That was a terrible play. Anything that can go wrong goes wrong, especially against the Blue Jays.
Yep. So. There's one team I know will be active at the deadline. We're talking about the deadline is the New York Mets. They swept the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And I think that there's no doubt the Mets are going to be in this thing until the end. It doesn't mean they get a wild card spot. It doesn't mean they get the division. I think we both picked them to make play. Did you pick them to make the playoffs? I know I did, but as a wild card. So we'll see what they do at the deadline. Listen, you know that Cohen is not going to shy away from spending money if it comes down to eating a contract or something like that they need. He won't hesitate to do it, especially since he probably looks at it like this is a good chance to win. I think they can beat anybody in the National League. I don't think anybody beat anybody in baseball. Detroit has come back down to earth. The Dodgers have hit hard times. I really feel like, in true sense of the manner, whoever's the hot team going in, whoever's pitchers are going to get hot at the right time, you're going to have your opportunity to win this thing this year. I don't think there's any really where last year I think we felt the Yankees in the American League were far better than everybody else. And I think last year we thought the Dodgers in all of Major League Baseball were better than anybody else, and it proved out that was exactly the case. I don't know if that'll be the case this year. So the Mets should go for it.
Yeah. The Dodgers have looked really bad lately. I believe they had lost just 6 in a row. before, I believe, yesterday or even a couple days ago. And now all of a sudden, the Milwaukee Brewers have the best record in the majors right now, which, I mean, I know the Yankees haven't seen the Milwaukee Brewers since that first series of the year, where obviously they didn't look anything they look now, and we swept the Brewers the first 3 games of the year. So I think there is a lot of parity this year between the American League and the National League. I think in the National League, it seems like whether it could be the Dodgers, obviously the Mets are put in there, the Brewers, you wouldn't think so, but I mean, they have the best record right now. The Phillies are going to be in there. Same thing with the American League between the Yankees, Tigers, Astros are up there now all of a sudden. So I think that you could see a chance of, like you said, not last year with the Yankees and Dodgers or Yankees Dodgers were the prohibitive favorites. But I think the Mets need to kind of go for it, like you said. And I think they need relief pitching too. Just like we said last week on the pod, that we're going after the same people. And I think that's they might. I mean, I heard Dylan Cease now is on the block. I thought the Padres maybe, which is weird because the Padres are kind of in it, and I don't know if they're selling or just I don't know if they're just kind of putting it out there.
It was Heyman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that it's probably unlikely that they make a trade, but apparently the Padres' way of doing business is if it's a rental, if it's somebody that's a free agent at the end of the year, they will at least listen to offers to see what they can get for a rental like that.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess they're kind of relating it to kind of the whole Juan Soto, where they got Michael King for him, who was really good. I believe he's injured right now, but he's been really good for them. Yeah, and I know the Twins have a bunch of pitchers out there, especially their star closer. You've heard the Baltimore, their star closer with Felix Bautista. You've heard who's the other team that's really good relievers. Who am I thinking of? All right, but I know there's plenty of relievers out there, but I guess I'm assuming their asking price is astronomical for them. Even so, I mean, that's why I don't think. I mean, I guess if Cashman's got to get rid of one of his guys, I don't know. I know Spencer Jones is tearing up AAA, but everyone and their mother was asking them last year to trade Spencer Jones for, if you remember, Tanner, who went to the Dodgers. What's the reliever's name? Tanner Scott. And he's been terrible actually for the Dodgers this year. Their bullpen has been terrible. So I mean, obviously, no one's talking about that, how he's been terrible, but we all wanted him last year. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we should really sell our farm, but we do need a reliever no matter what. I don't mind if we don't get Suarez, but I wouldn't mind if we didn't get much for the Hayes kid from Pittsburgh. I mean, if we can get some kind of upgrade, again, we're just always about selling the farm for it.
Boone just got thrown out.
So was it? So that's. I don't think we should really sell the farm for these kids unless it's really someone that's a huge difference. I don't think Suarez is the big. He's the needle mover in the American League. We need to get. I think our hitting's been pretty good for the most part. It's just our pitching. And good thing Rodon had a decent start against the Blue Jays. Schlittler looked really good. Fried looked okay today, not great. Wasn't that great. And we've got hopefully Luis Heel coming back soon. So as long as Luke Weaver, I think he really stabilized our bullpen, but we need another reliever definitely for the deadline.
We should have put money on the fact that Boone got thrown out today. After he flipped out on John Boy the other day, John Boy might be the nicest guy in all of media.
I guess you weren't. I don't think you were around. You were watching early in the game, but apparently this umpire made like a really bad call, and the umpire said my bad. So it looked like they were all good. And now obviously something happened, which obviously I forgot to see. I don't know. I just saw the pop up, and I don't know what happened because of that. But Boone looks more heated than he normally does. Maybe he just didn't want to watch the rest of the game. I don't know, because this game's probably. Oh, look at him get
I haven't much seen umpires do that. Like He's like waving him away.
Look
Like,
at him do the hand signal. Oh man. Did Matt Blake get thrown out too? They
probably.
both. I
Hey,
wonder what happened.
Brad Osmus, it's on you, buddy. See you
Oh
later.
my god.
Here's
Do you
the
think when he
card.
first came in, he would have had to manage this many times? I think he said it. He's like, "Oh, I came here not to be a manager. I don't want to be a manager. I don't want to keep doing this." Wow. All right.
So, all
So you
right,
get into football because this is too depressing.
dumpster fire here. Anyway, yeah. So there's no good transition to this since we were just railing about the Yankees, but NFL. We'll talk NFL here. There's some notable contract disputes, aka holdouts. Some guys are in camp. First on the docket I have is Juwan Jennings got an extension or got a contract. I don't remember extension or contract last year. And the year before last year outperformed. Now he wants a new contract or he wants to get traded. So that seems pretty par for the course for the 21st century athlete. But what do you think? Um, so Juwan Jennings contract or trade. Hendricks for the Bengals is holding out. He wants more. He wants a new contract. And the Bengals don't seem like they are willing to give him one. Micah Parsons obviously is going to be a lot of talk since you are a Dallas fan, but he has a very popular podcast. Jerry Jones never shuts up and always says the wrong thing. So they're going back and forth talking. He's in camp, but does want a new deal. And then the last one I have on my list is Terry McLaurin wants a new deal. He's on the last year of his 3-year extension. So pick those, which ones you want to talk about, whatever you want to talk about.
I remember one of our more, I guess, highlights of our first year of the podcast was I did a little rant. I believe it was on Jerry Jones. It was I believe it was probably the beginning of September when we did this last year. And I did a little 5-minute little thing on Jerry Jones on how he basically should step down and just get himself out of the organization. I watched that press conference a little bit, the highlights of it, and those big highlights that kind of made headlines. And I just don't see how he's in the right frame of mind when he's talking. He just doesn't. I feel like he's just like he's just there for headlines at this. Like he's there for ESPN and CBS and Fox to just give them headlines because it seems like he's never saying the right things, or maybe he is and he's just smarter than all of us. Who knows? But we all know what's going to happen with the Micah Parsons thing. He's not. I mean, he's not holding out. So I mean, that's a good thing. But in terms of it's going to come at the last week of training camp, with the end of August, and all of a sudden we'll hear Micah Parsons is the highest paid linebacker since whoever is the highest paid TJ Watt, whoever it is right now. That's what's going to happen. Same thing happened with Dak Prescott. Same thing happened with CeeDee Lamb. It's happened for a while now. It's just we wait too long to pay these guys, and then we wonder why we can't bring anybody else in. And that's why we're bringing in people like Javonte Williams to run our running backs, to be our running backs, and over the hill, Miles Sanders to be our running back or core in Dallas. Instead of bringing in someone like we could have last year, we could have brought in Derrick Henry for a few extra million more when it was said he wanted to come to. Jesus Christ, are you serious? So it's probably better. You don't want to. You don't want Dominguez. All right. So it's that's bad. I think the same's gonna happen with Terry McLaurin. It'll somehow happen. He's too much of a staple there in Washington. I think they will reward him eventually. This is all just a part of business. Hendrickson from the Bengals is going to get paid too. We talk about this every single year. Except for that whole Le'Veon Bell situation, which happened years back, there really hasn't been a contract situation where the guy hasn't gotten paid. Or I guess even that guy from the Eagles that got traded to the Jets and he just didn't play the whole year. I forgot his name. He got traded to the Jets for a second round pick, and the Jets got nothing from him. I think he's somewhere else right now. But yeah, it's all a business thing. They're all going to get their money eventually. I wouldn't worry about many of them affecting the regular season.
I mean, the biggest difference maker there is Parsons, and Jerry does this every year, and he eventually pays them usually like right as the season's starting. But the thing that makes this more fun is that Parsons has the followed podcast, and Jerry likes to find the camera every 5 seconds. So that's what'll make that fun. And then the other one that makes a big difference, I think, is Hendricks, because the Bengals have no defense to begin with. And if I'm not mistaken, they still haven't come to a contract agreement with their first round pick. And then Hendricks. So it was supposed to be the first round pick and Hendricks on opposite sides of the line from each other. And at least if they couldn't do anything on defense, at least they could sack the quarterback if those two could get to the quarterback. So I think that's a big difference maker, because I think we all look at the Bengals offense and go, if they can get any defense, they could challenge for the AFC or the Super Bowl. But we'll have to see with that. We have a lot of fantasy stuff coming out. We're working on some reels and stuff like that, so that'll be related to the NFL. And just some quick hitters from the NBA, Dan. CP3 signed with the Clippers. Dame back to Portland, although he won't play all year this year. I don't quite understand that move. And then Smart to the Lakers.
Yeah, none of them really moved the needle for me. I know you want Smart in the Knicks. I know he was the last piece to a championship, that Marcus Smart. Yeah, CP3 would be a nice bench player with the Clippers. Yeah, no, Smart's okay he'll be okay for the Lakers. He's not was he gonna back up, I guess, Luka Doncic, whatever. Or he'll be on the court with Luka Doncic, I guess, and since Luka can't guard, Smart will just play defense for him. So that's gonna be that. Yeah, still with the kind of on the NBA before we finish up, there's still a lot of restricted free agents out there, especially one, Cam Thomas, with the Brooklyn Nets. Quentin Grimes also for the 76ers. He's also a restricted free agent. And I know there's a couple other guys that just are waiting to get, I don't know if they're waiting on the Giannis situation or if they're just, I don't know, but nobody has any money right now except for the Brooklyn Nets. So I think, I don't know. I think the Brooklyn Nets for the whole Cam Thomas thing are just waiting for maybe another team to give him an offer so they can match it. I have no doubt that Cam Thomas is going to be back, because no matter what money any other team gives him, the Nets are going to be able to match it. So I think that's that's going to go on.
Yeah, other than
that, that's pretty much it.
This is not an Isaiah Hardenstein situation where you're not going to be able to match it. You'll have plenty of money to match it. So my only question relating to the Nets was, if you had to pick one of these guys for the Nets to sign to fill out your roster, because you have 13 now, Cam Thomas would be 14, and you have one other spot, Brogdon, Giddey, Grimes, Precious, Shamet, or Payton II. Which one would you pick?
Precious. I think we need it seems like where we're kind of deficient, and we're definitely going to be starting a rookie maybe, depending on how we're going to fill out our starting lineup, is at the point guard position. And I know we drafted a few point guards, but I think we would need someone, like, I wouldn't mind, I know he doesn't have the greatest reputation, I wouldn't mind the Josh Giddey on the team, just because he's one of those guys who can at least run the offense.
Yeah.
And he's very crafty, and he can do things. I mean, he's not going to be the star of the team, obviously.
He can score.
But I think someone that can get the ball to a Cam Thomas, get the ball to a Michael Porter Jr., get the ball a lob to a Nick Claxton every once in a while. He's someone that actually run the offense and teach the rookies kind of how he'll see how he runs the court and all that stuff, because we're going to have a bunch of rookies playing this year, a bunch of young guys. So I think someone of Giddey, not even Brogdon, maybe even a Brogdon, but I don't even think Brogdon would even entertain. I think Brogdon's looking for more of a championship situation. But I think someone like a Giddey, a point guard, would be good if he were signed.
Yeah, I think the Knicks will end up with I think everything I've read, the Knicks will end up with Brogdon. I did want Smart, but from what I read and heard on Instagram was that the Knicks couldn't guarantee him time. Like he was legitimately going to be the last man on the bench, and yeah, he would have been an insurance policy in case Jalen got hurt. But they couldn't guarantee him any time in any type of rotation. he's going to legitimately probably play 15 to 20 minutes a game for the Lakers. They need firepower. We saw that last year as LeBron started to wear away. Maybe that HGH wasn't in full prescription, or he was getting tested, so he had to make sure he didn't have it in his system. Maybe that's why he choked LeChoke James down the road there at the end of the season. But yeah, he's going to play a lot with the Lakers. He didn't have that option with the Knicks, even though I did want him. So if I had to pick for the Knicks from that list, I'd say Brogdon. He's the consummate professional there. If you had to tell me that Jalen Brunson was going to miss like 10 games and he was going to play an intricate role, I think he's the one that would mess it up the least. So not Ben
Yeah.
Simmons.
Oh, yeah. Did you even put him on the list? I didn't think he was on that list. Did you mention him?
I have him on the list. I just didn't say his name.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised you didn't mention. Yeah, I would think Brogdon's more the guy. Kind of. I mean, I know Deuce is a really good spark plug, and obviously Jordan Clarkson's a really good spark plug. But you would trust Brogdon to hold the offense together. Yeah, I agree with
Yep. Any random stuff you have to end us up this week?
you. No, not really. Looks like the Yankees are going to lose again. I believe I turned off the TV now. I think it is now 8-4, I believe. So we're done with that. Important series with the Phillies over the weekend. So we have Met fans rooting for us. Yeah, Met fans for Yankees. So we'll get one of that. We can get one of those in. I'm sure Evan Roberts will be all over that this weekend.
Real quick, before I sign off and let you sign us off, it was the best week of listening to WFAN because I didn't have
Brandon
to hear.
Brandon Tierney.
Bro!
But hey, it's definitely a difference. I mean, I don't listen a lot during the middays as much as you do. I know you listen to more during the middays, but I listened a little bit now with the summer, and it's definitely a difference. All right, so yeah, next week we'll have a lot more baseball, a lot more fantasy. I want to do a lot of fantasy starting probably, I guess, next week because we'll be at August 1st next Friday, I believe. So it'll be a lot to talk about. So yeah, keep following, liking us on X, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Keep the follows and likes coming. Till next time, I'm Danny. This is Neil. Signing off.